Inversion 1, Looking Through Mirrors. Written by Michael Crozer. Narrated by Jamie Lynn Marcos. Book 1 of the Inversion series. My psychiatrist asked me how I felt. I initially answered that I was scared, alone, terrified, confused, and hopeless. Later on, I could truthfully answer that I felt angry, loved, confident, and purposeful. The doc said that this proved I was growing into the new life I was forging, my past forever gone to me. But is it? I still get visions that he claims are simply products of my imagination. They're too fantastical to be true, he says. In these visions, I see another person, her eyes burning through the darkness, challenging, powerful, unyielding. If she's really me, then who am I? Why am I? Who are you? I whisper. The person staring back in the mirror never answers. I awoke into a nightmare, gasping a desperate first breath as an infant might. The sensation of falling and spinning was making me nauseous. Meanwhile, at the end of my bed, a blurry white sheet was moving wildly. I guessed my foot underneath it was twitching like a trapped animal. A moment later, the twitching spread up my leg into my whole body. My cry to the white shapes around me joined a chorus of urgent voices, metallic clanking and loud popping. Then, nothing. I became aware of a dim orange light shining from the other side of my eyelids. I raised my right hand to my face, rubbed my forehead, and only then dared to open my eyes a thin slit. Time must have passed. I felt almost normal. My bed had been raised and positioned before a window with its white curtains drawn. Once I adjusted to the light, I felt as if I were seeing for the first time. A joy so pure I started to cry. I turned my head and gazed into a long white room with a shiny gold-colored floor and tall windows. A soft, beautiful, hazy glow surrounded everything. At each window were other beds like mine, each with a human lump under the sheets. Some patients were moving slowly within the confines of the sidebars. Others just stared at the ceiling, as the old man 2 down from me was doing. He didn't even blink, as a group dressed in white uniforms rushed into the room and quickly surrounded his bed. They spoke in a language I didn't understand. Then a woman pushed a rolling cart loaded with equipment to his bedside and began attaching wires to the man's chest. "Écartez-vous," she commanded. I heard a thud and the old man's back arched, then a pause as they checked him. "Écartez-vous," said this time with less emphasis. The same routine, a thud, arching back, another pause. There was no urgency now and the group started to drift away. One young man with a dark scruffy beard remained, however, and glanced at me. I felt no emotion from him. He leaned on the bed rail and shifted his attention to his cell phone. I'd witnessed a horror I was only now understanding. The old man had died. Was I in a room where they put people expected to die? Another young man who wore a blue uniform and a blank expression pushed a rolling stretcher up to the dead man's bed. A familiar metallic clanking sound echoed as they folded away the bed rails before transferring the body. The routine looked well practiced, which horrified me more than seeing the dead man's limp arm slip off the stretcher as they wheeled him from the shiny, beautiful, sun-filled room. I fumbled for the yellow palm-sized device hanging from my bed rail and pressed the red button, as I'd seen others do. "Death is here, death is here, death is here," I whispered manically. In seeming reply, a female voice said close to my ear, "There are no stars." My mind froze in shocked horror.